Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to show you a quick demonstration of Cisco Configuration Professional on going through GNS3 and a combination of GNS3 and my hardware. I'll show you a quick overview of the topology that we're using. I'm not going to go too much in detail in it. I'm actually having another video that I'm going to really break down the configurations, the purpose of the topology that I'm working on, and how essentially was able to implement everything and got everything working with GNS3 between two computers. I have GNS3 running on my iMac and then my MacBook Pro. I'm actually consoled into my MacBook Pro here, and then I'm in my iMac on my native machine. So I have a VM with Windows XP that my iMac is on, and then if you can see it here, you can see GNS3 is actually running on my VMs from my MacBook Pro because it's a little bit more powerful than my iMac. So now we're gonna go ahead and go back here. So give you a little overview of the topology. So this is the topology that we're working with. Like I said, I'm not gonna go crazy in the detail of it, but router 2, 3, 1, JX1, and router 4, those are all hardware equipment. This is a mixed topology with Juniper and Cisco. I have a Juniper SRX210 firewall router, and then a Olive image, and each of them had their nuances of configuring because they don't operate like an MX series or a J series router. This one being virtualized, this one being primarily a firewall, so there's some extra steps you have to take. So I'll show you some of that stuff as well. But it's I found the cheapest way to get into the Juniper hardware game without dishing out $300. So this is the ISP MPLS core that my customer's network is going to be accessing. And this is the customer topology that is accessing that ISP MPLS core. This topology is doing MPBGP, MPLS. The OSPF looks pretty simple. I did have it broken out into areas before, but I plan on implementing traffic engineering. So, and that requires the every router that wants to participate in the traffic engineering to be in the same logical routing system, if you will, because of the full mesh requirements that it requires. So, and I say that's really if you're going to be using traffic engineering based off of your IGP, opposed to doing static. But you know, like I said, so this is the routers that I'm going to be looking at right here, router 2 and router 7. Router 7 is a GNS3 router that I have running here on my iMac. I'll show you that here. You can see that's running here in my iMac here. And then, let's go back to the map here. And then here is a router 2 is an 1841 Cisco router that I have. And those are going to be the two that I'm going to add into Cisco Configuration Professional. Now, the reason why I'm showing you two devices, the only drawback that I've seen, and wouldn't even say it's a drawback, I only tried it with one iOS image. I use the 2691 for everything. It's a powerful, lightweight image that you can use. So, you know, with the Configuration Professional, it actually had some issues. It'll discover it, but it actually won't install it into the, you can't actually do anything with it when it comes to configuring monitoring. So if I do, you know, show the discovery details, you know, that's pretty much it. It's telling me that it's not supported. So the 2691, if you're using strictly GNS3, you might have some issues. I haven't tried the other images. Free feel to give it a shout out and, you know, let me know if that worked. But for the most part, the 2691 running 12.4 iOS doesn't work. This one here is actually my 1841. You can see discovery details. That's my 1841 router, and that actually worked well. I have 1514 running on that. So that's kind of showing you that. Now, in order to get CCP working, there we go. To get CCP working and where it needs to, I would recommend going to this Cisco page. Just Google search configure Cisco Configuration Professional, and you'll see this come up. But this gives you some prereqs that you need to do on the router in order to get it working. This is important: the HTTP server, the secure server, and the authentication local. Now, what you want to do is you want to create a username with a privilege level 15. Do not forget this. Do not just go and create username secret, because what's going to happen is when you try to authenticate using CCP, because it's not a privilege level 15, the enable password is going to happen, and it's going to cause it to timeout, and it's going to cause CCP to think that it didn't pass authentication. So, well, when you do the privilege level 15, that's going to make sure that you don't. And then the next thing that you want to do is configure the VTY lines, and make sure that's at privilege level 15. I wouldn't suggest doing all 4 lines. You can just dedicate one. You know, if you're gonna put this in a working environment, you obviously just want to lock it down to whichever line you want this to be used for the CCP. So once you got that all configured, we're gonna go ahead and go back to our Windows XP box, and it just kind of show you some of the things you can do with it. So I'll go to the configure tab. As you can see, it gives you these little panes here. You know, the things like interface management, and you can actually look at some, configure interfaces for the router, add it, create, add it, just, you know, just pretty much simple administration. I'm not a big GUI person, me personally. I like the command line, but just looking around on this, I have my first interaction with the Cisco GUI being the SDM, which was crap. But this one's a little different. It installs locally on the machine, and you're able to group multiple routers into one centralized space, and you can have up to 5 communities, I think, and each community can have 10 routers. So, you know, with that being said, that's pretty cool. And then the fact that the configuration, I mean, some of the options still look like the SDM options, but it loads a lot better than the SDM ever did. They do have an express version that does sit on the router like the SDM used to do, but I prefer doing this one. This one, you know, it's pretty dead on. You can do a lot of the tasks on there as far as configuration. See, I'm just randomly kicking and clicking away. And then we could do some monitoring tasks as well. So we can see some QoS status. So, you know, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But like I said, the CCP is pretty simple to download. You have to have a valid Cisco contract. That's all I gotta say. If you look really hard, you could possibly find it, but you have to have a valid Cisco contract in order to use this. So that's one of the catches. But just showing you that my integration with it in GNS3 and my hardware, it worked flawlessly. My network is actually traversing the GNS3 network now, and so far so good. So thanks you guys for watching. Later.